How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video of Limbus Company. I'm DemoonicWolf, and today we are going to be jumping into Nocturnal Sweeping. Now, before we get started, I want to give you all a huge apology because I have been radio silent and very busy with life and family members, but I'm not going to get into that because you don't need to know about any of that, because right here, right now, I'm back, I'm ready to make some more videos, and I am ready to have some fun. Now, before we get started, you may notice that this is an old video. Yes, it's been a while. I have a lot of videos recorded, about 1.5 terabytes of videos recorded, all the way up to the event of the Arc Knights. Yes, I got Arc Knights. So don't worry, you will see that. But I do need to find someone who has the story. So, yeah, I will be looking for someone with non-commentary. But with that, everyone, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let's get started. Dante, any idea where the leftover cake from yesterday went? No idea. I mean, why would I know? I can't even eat. Darn. Did Donqui already get her paws on him? Roger rubbed her tired eyes, muttered something about how we should have partied in her room instead, and stumbled to the back door. The New Year's came swiftly to the inhabitants of the bus after the various incidents at the LCE. The sinners all came from different backgrounds and parts of the city, but annual celebration for New Year's seems to be a thread that connects their cultures together. They began floating the idea of a New Year's party and... Excellent! Then permit me the honor of hosting this banquet! With her usual overdramatic boast, coupled with a familiar twinkle in her eyes, Don Quixote declared that there would indeed be a New Year's party, and thus it was decided. Again? After all the hell we went through with the back door and whatnot for the out-of-season Christmas celebration? Yet I must insist, for 'twas but an effort to decorate the bus, the intent quite divorced from the act of celebration. Don Quixote glanced at Sinclair, sheepishly scratching the back of her head. Huh? Oh, don't worry about me, really. Haha. Well, 'tis true that mine actions hath brought thee quite the distress. Unintentionally, I might add. Thus, I ask thee, wouldn't thou not agree that a communal event to mark the occasion might freshen both our spirits and bodies? I can't even begin to imagine her amnesiac self even taking a moment to give a damn about how Sinclair might take it. But I guess with memory came tact. You know, it's our first New Year's together. It sure is an occasion for a celebration, huh? Gotta hear that bell go ding to really mark the transition to a new year, right? It seems that we shall be welcoming the first light of the new year in company of one another. This is indeed a cause for celebration. A bowl of noodles before the last night of the year fades. Classic. Ooh, such bubbling enthusiasm from your warmth, mine own heart. Fucking Don. Forsooth, the grandiosity of this banquet shall be one for the books. Fireworks most brilliant, enough delicacies too. Aaron, when's our next stop? Mephi'll be running non-stop for 3 days at least. Only Dum-Dum stop on a fast road. So she says. That grin. Virgilius muttered with his usual sardonic edge, one fist under his chin. Fine! For next year's celebration, the banquet shall be prepared ere the promised hour. Don Quixote's idea of a grand banquet depressingly fizzled into nothingness, but Roger brought out the cakes and cookies she'd stashed in her room so we could at least hold a small celebration for the New Year's together. After that, we all stayed up together, watched the New Year's first sunrise briefly paint the city in gold, then retired to sleep. When everyone woke up, rubbing their tired eyes, the world outside the bus had completely transformed. There was a behemoth of a structure, bizarre in its presence, and its walls seemingly made of gargantuan steel plates. H-Corp? The sinners began to voice their surprise, appropriately so, as what came into view was different from any of the nest we'd passed by on our journey thus far. Is that massive structure all one building? If that whole thing's the nest, then where the hell's the back streets? That's big enough to cover H-Corp's territory and then some. Well, there he goes again, asking dumb questions without ever taking a peep at the guidebook. That's not the nest. That huge box you see over there, that's District 8. We call it Hongyuan, the vast garden, here at H-Corp. The nest lies within the center of the structure, and the back streets without. So, they squeeze the entire population of this district in there? Do they just not get a ray of sunlight all year round? Huh? Well, at least they won't have to worry about the rain. Prithee, avail me a sight as well! God damn it, Dawn! She's too short. I feel her. As the sinners began to gather one by one at the other side of the bus, stirred awake from their late night's rest, I felt my gaze drawn toward Hong Lu. I looked for signs of concern or distress on his face, worried. It wasn't exactly something unique to Hong Lu, but the stories about his past home life we've heard throughout the year, whenever he felt like sharing them, were all consistently and terribly depressing. Who? It's not such a bad place once you actually try living here for a while. But his lips, ever so slightly curled upward into a kindly and relaxed smile, are making the same expression as ever. An expression that hasn't changed at all since our first meeting. Maybe it's just a cultural difference, kinda like how Hong Lu can be so nonchalant about things that should give most people pause, but actually, no. I'm not helping anyone or anything by entertaining these thoughts. My job at this moment is to keep a close eye on Hong Lu, more so than usual. And if the time comes for me to help him as the manager, I'll give it my all. Besides, whoa, this thing's even bigger up close. Verily, I carry no recollection of a structure so grand, even in past adventures of mine. If my efforts aren't enough, I know I can trust the sinners to lend me a hand. Hey, let me see too. I collected my thoughts and approached the sinners, who were flattened up against the glass window, to get a good view. All right, so they are... Oh, that is beautiful. That actually shows how big that structure actually is compared to what we saw, because the text was covering up the bus. That is amazing. Once we left the bus. Oh man. Can't believe we have to get off the bus here. We have to make a formal complaint against H Corp for this crap. What the hell were they thinking? Doing shoddy construction work at the entrance of the highway that leads straight into the nest. She's pissed. Many causes there may be for such construction projects, yet perhaps an early warning sign ere our approach to the site would have been a sensible addition. Ah, yes. His motion sickness. Were it not for young Karen's most valiant drifting, I shudder to even imagine the terrible possibilities. 'Twould have been a most awful end to an adventure. Oh, Karen did some Tokyo drift. Saved our asses. Thank you, Karen. I salute you. It's no surprise that the sinners all had a piece of their mind to speak. As we drove up to the entryway, we unexpectedly came across a mess of badly put together steel plates blocking our path in the middle of the road. Karen quickly spun the bus around, which meant that everyone ended up being thrown about like rag dolls. Jesus. Good thing there was another road off the highway that leads to the city, right? I bet Karen would have tried to reverse gear all the way back to the last interchange. But looks like we'll be going through all these winding alleyways to get to the nest. It's so dark in here. We were greeted by a dark street upon disembarking from the bus, illuminated only by faint strands of light. It was immediately obvious that we found ourselves in the back streets of H Corp. Looked pretty impressive from the outside, but it's no different from the other back streets inside, eh? Yep, it's a familiar sight. Gotta say, it's getting real old. I ask thee, is the nest of this district shrouded in such darkness as well? No, these particular sites are limited to the back streets of District 8. The back streets of this district weren't very different from the ones we visited in the past. People hurrying through the streets as though they were being chased by something. People scowling and glaring at the ground with some sickness or discomfort. Scenes all too common in every corner of the city. There was one thing about this place that stood out from the other districts, however. They're kinda reminding me of the former G-Corp soldiers back at District 4. What? What do you mean? You mean those fellas? The growths on their flesh appeared too organic to be prosthetics. Some of them had odd protrusions and nodules bulging from their skin as well. Not at all, Manager Bud. Look, they haven't all mutated in the same pattern. Like into an insectoid form, for example. Well, I guess I should commend you for not looking at them through a biased lens. You are observing the aftermath of District 8's distinctive method of treatment. Oh, so this is where the rumors about that bluish healing ointment came from, huh? Apparently they can cure any flesh wound after just one night dressed in bandages. It seems that certain misconceptions must be addressed. There are the variations of H-Corp singularity, the bolus. The bolus? She is likely referring to the medicines brewed and kneaded into ball-shaped pills. Correct. H-Corp, or the Hongyuan Bioengineering Group, mainly manufactures boluses that contain essences of treatment. The boluses may be taken orally, ground with water into a paste and applied directly to the afflicted area, or dissolved in water, soaked into bandages and wrapped around the necessary area for treatment. Ah, I guess rumors transform as they travel. Oh, I see. I was just thinking about how they do things back at the K-Corp. The focus of K-Corp's technology is the reversal or recovery of one's conditions. Returning to the original state is the key word in their treatment. It is no rare sight to find unique techniques and technologies developed independently by the inhabitants of the backstreets of District 8. Using the manufactured boluses, the treatments are not individually customized for each patient. Instead, their focus is on selecting the appropriate technique from a myriad of choices to address the deficiencies in their statuses. Perhaps one could choose the words transformation or evolution as a more illustrative descriptor for their method of treatment. So, that's what counts as treated? The crowd Sinclair was pointing at certainly appeared unhurt, as none of them were bleeding or walking with a limp. But many of them appeared dazed, staring blankly at nothing, or scratching absent-mindedly at their mutated parts. Ah, they must be the regulars. Unexpectedly, we found our answer, not from Faust, not from Merso, but from Hong Lu. The regulars? Yes? I've heard of them as a child, people who've grown too accustomed to visiting the clinics in search of their mystical treatments. The regulars might appear more intimidating than most people at first glance, but apparently all the side effects they've been stacking changes them in strange ways. It is highly likely that the interoperation conflicts or issues will arise when applying highly disparate treatment methods to a single body. At least it's a cheaper alternative for people who didn't sign up for the life insurance. You speak of life insurance? Yes, life insurance. There is a special insurance option to bring the client back to life upon the event of their death. What? Huh? That's... Wait a minute. They have the technology to bring people back. What? That's insane. Could you imagine if that was our life insurance? Instead of just paying out money? That would be amazing. So, the irony isn't lost on me, but I thought resurrecting people was one of the head's taboos. The head does not consider the revival via life insurance to be a violation of their non-resurrection taboo. Ah, so I'm guessing the head gets a cut of this. It is likely that on a technical level, this revival is actually categorized as brain resuscitation as opposed to a full resurrection. Degradation of its functions considered, of course. Another fatal downside to this technology is that, unlike the manager's clock winding, the subject cannot be brought back if their brain is destroyed. Also, there is a risk of significant losses in the process of information transference. Losses, huh? So maybe some of their mutations could be more than just the side effects of these treatments. Maybe, but I heard it takes more than 1 or 2 revivals to change that much. And since apparently people in the backstreets could never even dream of paying consistent insurance renewal rates, so... After all, who would sign up for insurance if using its services could reduce them to such pitiful states? Yeah, they appear pathetic and pitiful to you rich bastards, don't they? Oh, we're gonna have someone like Heathcliff. You'll soon be in the same boat as them, so save some pity for yourself. Who the fuck are you? Identify yourself. The stranger's voice cut through our discussion like a foreign instrument. We turned around to find a large group of people who were clearly up to no good. You must be the young master of that high and mighty Za family, eh? I can tell just by looking at your pretty face. Your friends, Honglu? No. I haven't had much chance to get acquainted with people from the back streets, so nope, I've never met them before. Of course you haven't. Too busy living large, playing gods in a whole different world from us plebs, huh? Not that it matters. We're just here to take the thing you brought here for submission to the family hierarch evaluation. The what evaluation? Okay, there's clearly been a misunderstanding. There's quite a lot of them. We're not off to a great start here, huh? Man. Actually, no. It'd be a violation of our office's core values to jump them like we're some common thugs. I, Shan-san, third son of the Triax office, challenge Za Balyu of the Jia family to a duel. Our wager will be that the winner can take anything they want from the loser. Wait, what do you mean, a duel? Duel? God damn it. I have heard tell that duels of the honorable fixers of the Sync Association Eastern Branch announce their intent to duel by stating their affiliation and name instead of casting their gauntlets. And the pamphlet that young Ishmael had presented before me earlier presenteth the truth that the Triax office is indeed an office of the East, though they are indeed of a lesser quality. 'Tis a true, genuine, accurate declaration of a duel that we behold. So, it's just a fancy way of saying 1v1 me. Let's go, innit? I mean, this guy doesn't look too tough. What do you think, Vost? Agreed. This individual does not seem to possess any particularly exceptional skill that may pose difficulties for Honglu. I think I'm going to be okay. I'll be back in a minute, Dante. You sure this is okay? I don't think you're going to lose to him, but, you know, just in case? No worries. I have some childhood experiences with duels myself. I've done about 10 of them, I think. Ha! So the rich boy's dabbled in some duels, has he? It's... I think you misunderstand. I meant to say I've done about 10 of them a day. Oh, but grandmother sometimes let me skip them, so it might have been slightly fewer than that on some days. What? I, Honglu of Limbus Company. No. Eyeball you of the Za family accept this duel. Honglu stepped forward confidently as the opponent was processing what he just heard. For a moment, Honglu stood there in a stance that did not express even a hint of aggression, before curiously cocking his head to the side. Sorry? Are we waiting for something? Oh, so... I always let the opponent get the first 2 moves in a duel. Please don't hesitate. Holy shit, he's cocky as hell. But it may not be that, well, he's not cocky. He just knows his limitations. He knows what he could do, so he likes to give him a chance, right? Let me, you little... Your cocky pride shall be your downfall! The man who introduced himself as Shan-san leapt toward Honglu. Then, after about a minute... How is this happening? Man, he fucked him over. Hey, little rat, looks like you have dinner right there. Call your friends. Unlike Sean San, who was throwing punches and swings with boiling hot passion, Hong Lu was effortlessly gliding between his opponent's strikes like he was out on a picnic, as though this was but a leisurely stroll through a garden. Whenever Sean San threw a powerful punch, Hong Lu redirected it to the side with ease, the fist only grazing his clothes. We were mesmerized by the feathery light movements of his hands and feet that effortlessly glided through the air. Until, after one blink and you'll miss it moment, we realized that Sean San was already face down on the ground, defeated. Oh, young Hong Lu, hast thou been concealing thy full strength in our presence? Oh no, I wouldn't say that. I always put my all into every fight. Yet, to defeat this foe so soundly, to dance with such grace between his strikes is... 'Twas as though thou wert dueling someone whose skills may only measure against a child's. But most of our fights happen in environments with a lot of variables, and we usually fight against enemies with all kinds of unexpected weapons and powers. That's very true. That's very true. Because he would have to act differently against an abnormality that could literally have its flesh rip open and have bones shoot at you, versus someone who's throwing punches and stuff like that. That makes a lot of sense. And you can't even compare just a normal person to these members of the Wings, because this is a member of an office, a lower office. So they're not as skilled, because Ricardo, obviously Hong Lu didn't do that with Ricardo. Ricardo fucked him up. Same with Siegfried, but still. You read him. She doesn't look happy. Already familiar with that fool's moves? Oh, yes. One of my Biwu instructors used similar techniques as this gentleman here. Practice makes perfect, and perfection makes an expert, right? Foo? Right, but I'm not sure if that's entirely relevant here. Well, anyways, looks to me that he soundly kicked your behind in this duel. Let us through, why don't you? And preferably not do the thing I think you're about to do. Yeah, we picked 12 of our sinners, so he's now gonna be a sore loser and go. Oh, God damn it. Still coughing. But as I was saying, he's still gonna be a sore loser, and he's gonna be like, men, charge! This duel wasn't overseen by a notary office anyway, and our employer's not gonna let this failure slide if we just leave. So don't just sit there, move your asses and jump them. Poomph. Pathetic. I can kind of see how we're becoming experts at getting jumped. With the bitter cry of the defeated, his gang rushed toward us. What fools! What absolute fools. Oh! Oh! God damn the music! It's fucking great! Just bumping! Alright, so we're going over 2 people. So, let's go ahead and get started. Deceitful Triaxe Office Fixer. Maximum HP is 194. Stagger thresholds are at 135 and 48. Resistances are Fatal for Slash, Endured for Stab, and Normal for Crush. All sin affinities are normal. Now, moving over to the skills, we have Unmannerly Attack. On use, gain 1 haste next turn. On hit, inflict +2 bleed counts. Tendon Slice. On use, if this unit's speed is faster than the target's, coin power +1. On use, if the target has 3+ bleed, base power +1. On hit, inflict 2 bleed. On hit, inflict 2 bleed. On hit, inflict 2 bind next turn. Messy Attack. On use, at 7+ speed, coin power +1. On use, if the target has 4+ bleed, coin power +1. Clash Win. Deal more damage based on clash count, +5% per clash count, max of 50%. Clash Win. Inflict +3 bleed count. On hit, inflict 2 bleed, ×2. Guard. On use, gain 3 shield for every type of negative effect on self, max of 10. Now, moving over to the passives, we have Measuring Clashes. On Clash Win, gain 2 haste next turn, once per turn. Now, moving over to the Sanity, we have Panic Types. Agitated. Low morale effects. Turn start, gain 1 damage up and 2 fragile. Panic effects. Turn start, gain 2 damage up and 5 fragile. And with that, that concludes the Deceitful Triaxe Office Fixer. Now we're gonna go through the other one, which is the Awkward Triaxe Office Fixer. Now we're not gonna go over everything, we're just gonna go over quickly what his stuff is. Fuck 'em up! You guys wanna be sore losers? Don't worry, we'll kick your ass again. Yeah, she is your kryptonite right now. Oh, you're not winning that. You never had a chance. I'm gonna go ahead and drink my warm drink to allow my voice not to get so fucked up. And now you're all going to die and become rat food and then rat shit. Oh, there goes my boy! There we go. Get him, Otis! That's a stagger! Get him, Faust! Oh, so close, Faust. So close. Oh, you're panicking? Wait, I thought you guys had more men behind you. No? Unfortunate.
행동을 개시합니다.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, we did kill them. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, become rat food and rat shit. Dumbasses.
좋은 전략입니다.
And that is revenge for not having an honorable duel. Don Quixote does not approve. This really isn't a great start, fellas. It's never easy, is it? Hey, at least we got a nice warm-up. It wasn't all bad. I don't know. This seems more serious than our usual street brawls. Ishmael's right. They weren't your everyday thugs who pick fights with random people for no good reason. They were contracted by someone to specifically target and eliminate Hong Lu. And given how open they were about their intent, calling it a contract, it doesn't seem like whoever gave the contract was exactly going for subtlety. Then maybe this is what Zasichun was talking about back when she mentioned surviving as heirs. Whoever's behind this must have a bone to pick with Hong Lu. Indeed, it seems that we must expect more skirmishes like this going forward. Alas, was this trial not readily overcome? Not the point. Think on it a little more. Seems like they're assuming that Honglu's brought something here in order to participate in the family hierarchy evaluation. A highly accurate assessment of the situation by the executive manager. I expect no less from someone of your genius. God damn it. God damn it. I love her so much, but she's brown nosing so much. Going for the classic of brown nosing today, Otis. Since when was it brown nosing to compliment a job well done? Do you not expect? This inane conversation is most riveting, but I would prefer some silence while we wait. It seems that the company foresaw such difficulties. They've sent you a support team to help handle this issue. Wait, what? Oh. I would love to see her again. I'd love to see her again, but I don't think so. We heard voices coming from behind us, from where Virgilius pointed. My, you guys haven't learned how to stick to the plan, have you? Yes! Sadi! Sadi! It really threw me off when I was told to meet you in some backstreets location, away from our agreed rendezvous point. A familiar voice. A voice we could not forget. Been a while, everyone. Yes! Yes! She's okay! Ah, she looks well! Hi, I'm here too. Yes! Pilot's back, baby! He may have lost his squad, but he's got a new squad now! Hell yeah! We turned around to follow where the voice was coming from and recognized the two people we'd been hoping to see again. Yes! Fuck yes! Swear to God though, I better not die. I will be angry.
99% 명령과 1%
I'm so excited to see these characters again. Sadi? And hey, Pilot, right? What's wrong? It's like you're all looking at a ghost. Pilot, didn't you tell me that you shared my news with them the last time? I did. I sure did, ma'am. Oh, yeah, he did. The sinners each recovered from their initial shock of seeing them again. And soon, their faces began to bloom with relieved smiles. Well, good to see things haven't changed much around here. Sadi, we're so glad to see you're okay. TikTok to you too. Good to see your gears are turning just fine. That big, wide-ass smile. I love it. I missed it. Sadi smiled with a familiar grin. She did not seem to have changed much since the last time we met, save for a few minor differences. Yep. Her outfit and her badge, for example. Last I recall, you were promoted. Yes, allow me to congratulate you. Yeah, haha. Or the hints of melancholy hanging from her smile and flickering in her eyes. Hey! I am merely congratulating her on her promotion and offering a recognition of her excellent accomplishments. I don't see what your problem is here. Well, so I'm guessing her upgrade was because of Effie, right? I think that's his name, right? Sadi and Effie. Yeah, Effie died. So that's why Gregor's getting a little pissed, and that's why she's kind of not so up and at you at the comment. Well, we all know the meaning that promotion carries. Indeed, and it is very profound after all. What meaning is there to a promotion attained without spilling some blood? Ah. You're a real piece of work. Let me ask you something then. If everyone behaves like you do around her, tiptoeing around the facts, keeping it hush-hush about what happened, where's she going to get the bare minimum of the recognition and the consolation she deserves? She's not wrong there. Hush-hush would have been nice. I even overheard some of them whisper that I let my partner die just so I could snag a promotion. Aw. So in that regard, I appreciate that, Otis. That smile, man. There's so much pain in there. If we're being technical, I did die. Except my brain was intact. Not even K-Corp's regenerative ampoules could have revived me if I wasn't. She doesn't look happy about that. Then did Effie also... No, Sinclair, he died. He died. Apparently, they went right for Effie's head when they stabbed him with a prosthetic. According to the coroner's autopsy... Yeah, I figured he didn't live, or else she wouldn't have been promoted and he would be here. And on top of that, Pilot would have talked about Effie. K-Corp ampoules, life insurance. Neither of them can revive someone with a damaged brain. It is what it is. Anyways, let's not dwell on the depressing stuff. We're here to work. Let's get some work done. So, let's talk about work. Okay, Pilot? Yes, ma'am. Well, let's see here. Coincidentally, I happen to make friends with a feller who has ties with the Za family. So, I brought him over. She's annoyed. Hey, is that everything? Yes, sir. Briefing's over. Just as everyone was reeling in stunned silence at the least informative, least helpful briefing we ever had the displeasure of sitting through. Ishmael was the first to catch herself. She looked up at Sadi. Sadi, can we rely on you for some elaboration here? The briefing was a good demonstration of the necessity of educating the 5 W's and 1 H principle. What? Haha, looks like we have a lot to discuss once we get back, Pilot. Uh-oh, Pilot, you're fucked. Did I do something wrong? Yes, you did, because she's got the shade over her face, and she is going to beat some sense into you. Shh, Pilot, buddy, just stop. You're digging yourself a deeper hole with every word. Gregor quickly leaned in to warn Pilot, but it was likely too late. A nigh unnoticeable crease had already formed between Sadi's brows. Oh, God. Prior to commencing this high-priority operation, it was necessary for us to find individuals with connections to H-Corp. So we, as the preliminary observation unit, were put to the task, and we managed to establish a connection with an individual. Oh, someone from my family? No, we tried, but your family proved to be a rather difficult nut to crack. However, as we were wasting our precious time with all of our leads, Pilot pursued an unconventional method to establish this connection. I really didn't hold back on compliments then, and this is how you... Ooh. Our collaborator is a former employee of the Za family. After leaving the family, he now runs a lodging business. Then it is likely that he is far removed from the family's politics, less motivated for him to attack us due to conflicting interests. Yes, and according to pilots' reports, he still regards the Za family positively. How could I not, considering the blessing they had given me? An unfamiliar voice butted into the conversation, as though to continue Sadi's explanations. I humbly present myself before the Fellowship of Young Master Balyu. Please call me Ching Tao. He greeted us in the most polite fashion before bringing his hands together in an odd motion. Oh, is this how people greet each other here? Yep, it's called the Baochuan gesture, bringing fist and palm together to express respect and peace toward the receiver. Aha! Knights greet one another by shaking their hands for a self-same purpose. Forsooth, thou art indeed one possessed with a chivalrous spirit. Ah, indeed. Much did I worry about the qualities of people young master has surrounded himself with, but I see that he is in company of those wise in the ways of the West. Hell yeah. Why do you look like that? Hey, excuse me, sir. Don't look at me like that. Why did your face change? Okay. I prostrate myself before the vast breadth of your knowledge. What grand generosity it is to open ajar the waterways of wisdom to quench my barren lands. What? That's how I feel. Something feels familiar about this. Nah, she's been getting less and less verbose and bootlicking these days. Not like this guy, for sure. That's true. He's kinda like... How should I put this? A bit much. Yeah, okay, so that makes more sense, right? That's how Otis was in the beginning, and now she's kinda pulling away because she's being more of herself, because she's relaxing around us. Which I'm wondering, is Otis next after Honglu? What are you guys talking about? Communication only by the sound of a ticking clock. This is something I had already known ahead of time, yet... What a most curious exchange to behold in person. Brief this journey may be, yet I shall find myself thoroughly entertained in this entirety. Ha ha! Okay. Okay. Maybe it's the subtle sprinkle of disrespect that reminds you of the usual flavor. Yeah. Wait, is this about me? You dare? Was all that bootlicking she did supposed to be a source of pride for her or something? Otis shook her head with clear distaste and strode toward me. We are nothing alike, Executive Manager. Never have I once said such empty flattery in your presence, filled with nothing but hot air and superlatives. I'll leave the guidance to those backstreets to him. Well, looks like this is where... Sadi fell silent, her eyes lingering on Virgilius, who stood somewhere apart from the rest of us. So, I finally get to meet the Red Gaze in the flesh. I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. That's right. They were talking about meeting him. They never did meet him because, yeah. That sucks. Effie should have met him. Effie would have loved to be here. God damn it. God damn it. Just saying it. Manager? Virgilia seemed to sense her lingering gaze and walked toward us after nodding slightly in her direction. Manager Sadi, let's not make this any longer than it has to be. I'm not happy to be helping you with your businesses. I'd much rather put this behind me as soon as possible. Oh, please. It's our historical first collaborative operation, isn't it? Can't you spare a little more time with us? The guide bud's actually doing something? That guy? He's probably got something important. It is crazy that they actually have him in a slot, like a position for this mission. Oh, what? Yes, unfortunately, LCC has our own business to take care of today, so I won't be accompanying the LCB this time, and the Red Gaze will be helping us out to get it done. Okay, so they're in good hands. They're in absolute good hands. He probably has a mission to where he can't let them die. Taking Mephi there. Vroom vroom. Maybe it's not that unfortunate. Now that I think about it, it feels like every mission with the LCB's always been an uphill battle to get anything done. Well, you see, back then we were... Haha, just messing with you. I'm sure we'll have another chance to work together again. I hope so. Boss, we don't got much time. Wait, before you go, I think you owe us some explanation, Virgilius. I will leave the details with Miss Faust. I am quite busy. Very well. Virgilius turned around and left toward Mephistopheles with an oddly disgruntled expression. Something's going on. It's obvious something's going on, but Virgilius ain't really happy with this situation. Well then, I'll see you around. Next time, I'll show you that I can carry my own weight. You know, oh boy, the last time we really met, I was so darn pathetic. Pilot, competence is shown through action, not words. Sadi and Pilot gave us a light nod before following Virgilius. Some sinners opened their mouths to speak, hesitated, and then closed them again. We let them go without a word. Perhaps we didn't know what we could say to not make this an awkward farewell. Very well, please, this way. Or maybe we were simply mindful of this guy who was responsible for the quality of our stay. Yeah. I'm so glad Sadi's back. Ah, it feels good. Deep resentment ought to be washed away. For when the far one comes betwixt the burnt doors, shall a star fall astray. Are you sure we're going the right way? I don't like the sound of these weird songs. The main streets are most likely teeming with those seeking to bring harm to the young master. We must venture an alternative path. And like he said, there weren't any skirmishes once we made it deeper into the dark alleyways. The lack of foot traffic would normally be pretty unsettling, but I guess that's what we needed at this moment. As for the song, it's a song that's become rather popular in the backstreets in the recent months. The lyrics are pretty, ominous for a popular song. It's a song that spreads through mouth of word. It sings of how the decimated Kong family... This is not the place to discuss such matters. I will share the tale in a more appropriate setting later, should we come across it. I didn't know there was a song like that. Is this the first time you've heard of it too, Honglu? He's a posh git from a posh family. I doubt he's ever set his precious feet in the back streets, so it's no wonder he's never heard of anything like it. I have been to the back streets before, but Heathcliff isn't wrong. I did spend most of my time in my room. That is precisely because you were the most treasured one of them all, young master. Much like how the jade of the greatest worth is to be cherished, prized, and hidden in the deepest depths of one's coffers, where none shall reach. Oh, is she seeing herself in him? I'm like him. To a lesser degree, particularly as of late. So that guy used to work for the Za family. Huh. Do you know him, Honglu? Young master, is there something on my face? Ah. Honglu stopped himself as though a thought flashed in his head and glanced quietly in my direction. Then... It's nothing. Shall we continue walking down this road? Indeed, humble as I may be, I am very well versed in the roads of this area. Honglu shook his head at me as he casually changed the subject. It was as though he was trying to hide something we know from Qingtao. Should we be suspicious of something? He is a collaborator, but only a temporary one. A degree of caution would be advisable. Given Pilot's clear inexperience and naivety, we would do well to remain suspicious of this character. Faustin Otis approached me as Honglu was nodding along and chatting amicably with our guide. Well, looking back at our journey so far, I think we learned our lesson about blindly trusting every collaborator we come across. With this growing mistrust in mind, I slowly made my distance from the guide before asking Faust the burning question. This is gonna be about Virgilius, right? So, what was that all about back there with Virgilius? Something about him going off to help them out? The consequences of his actions at Wuthering Heights. Ah, that's why he was annoyed. That makes sense. Oh. His actions were a violation of one of the more important items in his contract with the company. He is simply taking responsibility for the breach of contract. I think back to the incident at the manor. It feels like such a long time ago now. God, that was such a badass moment. Well, that's kind of a bummer. He really helped us out of a pickle. What? That's what they're dragging him away for? Is there a problem, honored guests? It's nothing. Nothing at all. No problemo. Right, Roshu? Oh, fuck. SU, idiot. Shut up, idiot. God damn it. Merso, can you carry Heathcliff for a little bit? He's dead tired. God damn it. It will be done. Heathcliff, punched in the gut by the hilt of Roshu's sword, fell forward right into Merso's welcoming shoulder. Give this big bear a hug. Raja? You know, the kind of people I hate the most. The kind of dull people who can't read the room. Don't you feel the same way, Dante? Yep. We're like, yep, we agree. I nodded enthusiastically as something seemed to imply that she wasn't really asking me a question. I don't think she was about to punch my lights out, but... Rodion and Roshu judged correctly this time. Classified company information must not be discussed in the presence of an outsider. Reminds me of that time he got knocked out cold for a while because he kept asking questions without raising his hands. This guy just doesn't learn, huh? You successfully preserved the secrecy of classified information without spilling blood. I applaud this policy. I did good, didn't I? I'm just not a fan of how they're treating Heathcliff like dirt now. I agree! Heathcliff is awesome. You don't have to keep hurting him. If it's no problemo, as you say, then that is well indeed. Yet I worry that it appears that the problem has found us anyway. I stopped and looked around, realizing that we were surrounded by a group of people wielding various weapons in their hands. What happened to finding us a safer path? It is likely that my guidance has indeed given us a much safer path away from the more obvious skirmishes. However, to my great regret, it appears that the more observant of our enemies have tracked us here. Damn it! Then what are you even here for? Isn't it your job to prevent this exact scenario? Let's leave the finger pointing for later. We're gonna have to take them all down. They must not be allowed to disseminate our current location. Exactly. Where are you slinking off to, Mr. Qingtao? I must regrettably and humbly say that my talents in war are terribly lacking, so I intend to become scarce for the moment. Yet, I have the utmost faith in the strengths of our young master and the honored guests in overcoming this adversity, so... Qingtao was already standing so far away from the front lines that he was practically hiding behind me. Motherfucker. Faust, anything you can tell us about these enemies? No, but a consultation with the Gazelle Shaft seems unnecessary if we are to determine whether negotiating with them is an option. They're coming. Merso, wake Heathcliff up and set him down. It will be done. Huh? How you gonna wake him up when he got knocked out? Shake him? Here we go. You people just fucked up. Cause now you're all going to die.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
Alright. Get your asses kicked. Oh yeah, you're done. Another stagger? Good damage. And this is insane damage.
기다려. 아직 안 끝났어. 좋은
That one's
전략이.
gone. Yeah, I will say, they do treat Heathcliff pretty harshly. He did get to be the assistant in the last intervalo.
좋은 전략이.
Get him, Sinclair! Hell yeah. Oh yeah, that one's done. Nice. Always great damage on that.
좋은 전략이.
There's another one gone.
아름답지
That
않아.
one's gone. Oh, you're standing up against Faust. Your sanity's too low.
모든 결과
Alright.
파우스트가
See, I don't know the strategy to control attack weight in a small degree, because I know it says that you can control it kinda, but not really.
순조로운 전략입니다.
I think it's just like slotting it in from slot 1 to slot 2. I think is the best you can control it, right? So, actually, there's a lot of people ahead of her, so stop that.
좋은 전략입니다.
Goodbye! That's gonna hurt.
쉽네.
Yeah. Now she finished it. Come on, Sinclair. You're at 45. You can hit those heads. Is this hitting one person?
모든 결과들은
Did I?
파우스트가
Yeah, it is. It didn't even kill him.
해보겠습니다. 해냈어요.
There we go. Simple. Hostiles in the immediate vicinity have been eliminated. Our collaborator, who'd been hiding far from the battle, quickly ran up to our side as soon as the fight ended. She's not happy. Are you unhurt, young master? Yep, I'm totally fine. Of course, our honored guest's martial skills were all exceptionally brilliant, but, young master, your light was the brightest even among the incandescent. This humble servant could not hold back his tears at this wondrous sight to witness such excellent martial arts from none other than the young master himself. What an unexpected surprise! But don't the children of the Za family undergo all kinds of strict training regimens from childhood? It was simply my assumption that the young master had ceased his training once he departed the family. Anyways, how do you think they tracked us down anyway? Ah, about that. It appears that we weren't exactly tracked down. Perhaps it may be that the ilk who lurk in these parts of the back streets recognize the young master's venerable countenance. I don't think my face is that well known. The family hierarch evaluations are nigh. Every soul living in Hongyuan must know the face of the young master, who is loved by every elder of the family. Oh! Honglu's the favorite. It must be that they are under the assumption that you are carrying something of great value. Family hierarch, huh? Didn't Za Sichun say something about heirs back then? They all assume wrong then. I didn't bring anything precious that the elders might be looking for. Young master, even now? I just couldn't care less about it, that's all. Besides, many of my siblings are much better fit to be the family hierarch than I am. Huh? That's... well, that is indeed a relief. A relief, is it? Well... But of course, it is a highly dangerous endeavor to partake in the hierarch evaluations, so it is of great relief to know that young master is not putting himself in unnecessary danger. I guess that could be a relief, sort of. Whew. Now that we took them all down, there shouldn't be any more on the way, right? Greg, could we not jinx ourselves for 1 second? Heh. But why are you laughing, Roshu? Now I'm worried. Please, do not concern yourselves any further. We will take the most clandestine path. I guarantee a safe and easy passage to our destination. I still have a hard time buying that. The lay of this place would constitute a perfect place to set up an ambush in most places, yet you claim this to be the safer path? Yet I must ask you to place your faith in this humble servant, for Hongyuan is not like most places. Fine, for now. Otis shut her eyes for a moment out of retorts, then turned to look at Ishmael. Hey, Ishmael, you must have a pamphlet of this place handy, don't you? No way. You're actually going to read it? Why else would I ask? No, I mean, how could I not be caught off guard after almost a whole year of getting brushed off by everyone every time I plead with them to read the damn pamphlets? Like hell, did no one think to... I will find my own intel if you're just going to ramble on and on with your grievances. Okay, fine, here it is. Otis opened the pamphlet and began intently glaring at its texts, as though she didn't want to miss even the smallest detail of information in there. Suspicion clear on her knitted brows. Wow! So people are still not reading the goddamn pamphlets? Come
관리자님의
on!
99% 명령과
Read them!
1%의 제 실력이 합쳐진 결과였습니다.
What is Dante doing? He needs to make that mandatory. I don't care if they don't like it. It needs to be mandatory. We were on a desperate run. Okay, is this where the sweepers come in? All the while fighting off hordes upon hordes of enemies. It has to be that. Oi! What happened to safe and easy passage? Explain this shite! Never mind. Just more ambushes. It appears that the young master's radiant countenance was made known. I thought we were finding a more clandestine passage. How come we're getting jumped by even more enemies? As I have said, the young master's radiant... At least try to give a little variation to your excuses. Oh my god. I cannot so easily say that he's being untruthful, given the disjointed allegiance of the enemies attacking us. Otis played with the pamphlet in her hand, clearly frustrated but unable to establish anything concrete. For people without a clear allegiance to attack a member of the Za family. Looks like everyone in the back streets has been getting pretty plucky while I was away. Back then, I couldn't even catch a glimpse of their faces. They'd all be on their hands and knees whenever we walked past. Ah, what a wonderful change. Saying that while people are trying to kill him. Oh, shove that wonderful change up your arse, you bloody loon. How much longer till we get there? My cousin is near. Calm your worries. Our guide seems oddly calmer now than he did at the beginning of this journey. Did he really get numbed to all the violence that fast? Or... Speaking of which, what's a cousin? It is a term commonly used to refer to taverns, inns, and equivalent places of lodging in this region. Lodging, huh? Like a hotel? Foo, it's gotta be pretty fancy then, huh? Do they serve like complimentary snacks and drinks like the warp train? Not sure about that, but it seems like the Kezans only serve alcohol and food alongside their lodging services. Maybe we could get a meal in there. And, hopefully we won't be attacked there like this. Residential non-aggression taboo. Any mutual acts of violence inside a residential building is, within this particular area, the floor of Hongyuan, a taboo. A taboo. We may rest easy within then. I saw Faust's eyebrows slightly twitch as though she had just heard the most ridiculous thing. But I guess I'll ask her about it later. Man, if it's for some kind of family hierarchy or family head selection contest, why couldn't they save all this fighting until then? Because it would be too late. Late? How? Every hierarch candidate must have brought incredibly precious treasures with them. It would be nice if they believed that their own treasure is the most precious of them all. But everyone's going to try and take each other's just to be sure. I see, just in case someone else brought something even better than their own. And might as well kill them too, for the sake of convenience. Is that how you folks in your family think? What kind of line of thinking is that? But other families didn't seem too different from mine, foo-hoo. Damn. Deepest apologies for the intruding upon this most enthralling conversation. However, we may be inviting even further trouble by dallying here. With that, the guide pulled out a watch to check the time. It will be nighttime soon. We know what that means. We definitely know what that means. Sweepers. Oh, hello!
쉽네. 쉽네.
해냈어요. 좋은 전략입니다.
Now, here we are. Is this the place? After running through alleyway after alleyway, after turning corner after corner, we finally came across the site of several small buildings, tightly built next to one another. At the center of them was a building lit with red lamps, adorned with a door plate with complicated-looking letters scribbled over it. This is shoddier than I expected. Hey, isn't this place a bit too trashy to house your precious young master? This is not our building. Please look this way to see where our honored guests will be staying for the night. I knew it! I heard so much from Hong Lu about all the splendor, all the... Huh? We followed Qingtao's finger and arrived at a small warehouse of sorts, its exterior painted in black. That looks smaller than even Mephistopheles. Can we all even fit in there? Hey, that place looks trashy as heck, even for us, let alone your young master. This is the nearest Kezin we could afford to stay in, at least among the ones I manage. Yet its location in the back streets heavily limits the level of decency it can afford. My deepest and sincerest apologies, young master. Don't worry, we can't always sleep in decent places. It looks just fine for an overnight stay to me. Are you nuts? Can that thing even fit all of us in there? Much did I wish to guide the honored guests to the family mansion in the center zone. However, the time... Oh. It's getting dark. He's making sure to take the time to make sure that we don't get fucked by the sweepers. So he's not a sweeper. That's good. Uh-huh. The sweeping wave. Doesn't that start at 3:13 in the morning? I feel like we've got plenty of time to get there. Exactly. Don't we have more than enough time to get to the family mansion? According to the H-Corp travel guide, the central areas are like an hour away from here. Has the honored guest traveled to District 8 before? Well, no, this is my first time here, but... Then one must ask how the honored guest could claim to have a full understanding of a place merely by flipping through a book, when she hasn't had to contend with it in person? Innumerable, unpredictable changes await in this teeming jungle of buildings, the ever-shifting structures, the consistently changing paths, ambushes from foolish yet vicious syndicates, or even offices of the backstreets. Oh, we are beset by danger from all sides. Such bold, flippant approach to predicting the phenomena of this place is to court death. Even a toddler must know that. Oh, damn. One fails to disguise his utter sorrow at the inadequacy of her wisdom. Is it just me, or are we all thinking back to Ishmael back at the Great Lake? Yep. This is how she kinda acted. Zip it, Dante. Oh God, that's great. She's like, damn it, he's right. But if the guidebook lists a path, does it not imply that it is technically possible to reach there in time? Otis suddenly took a step forward. In her hand was the H-Corp travel pamphlet that Ishmael was talking about. I have faith that our executive manager would lead us in your directionally challenged stead. They would be able to lead us to our destination before night falls. Me? This does not appear to have been discussed aforehand. Very well. Allow me to speak freely without frills. My responsibility is to bring the honored guests to the central zone to ensure the young master's safety. It is indeed technically possible to reach the family mansion before the night of the backstreet commences. Technically. Yet, not even one iota of danger to the young master shall be permitted. The mission that has been so graciously bestowed upon this humble servant is not to guide the young master with haste, but to guide him with utmost safety. Oh? Grabbed her attention real quick. It is said that those engaging in strategies and plans must remain wary of losing sight of their purpose, to stubbornly forge on toward the family mansion in lieu of necessary intel. To see when those mobs of assailants would end is to wrongly prioritize the journey over the destination. You. Oh, you. Oh, God. What? Wonderful, truly impressive. You have all the qualities of someone I would trust with my life when devising a stratagem. This is the most fitting attitude for those who genuinely wish the best for those they serve. Yep. Hook, line, and sinker. Really? You're just gonna start going along with him all of a sudden? I have misunderstood your intentions, truly. They sparked my ire by comparing some of your choice words with my very own. God damn it. Two peas in a pod right now. Yet now, my eyes have been opened to the honest loyalty that lies within your heart. Ha ha ha! This humble servant did not imagine, even in his wildest dreams, that there would be someone who understands the fathoms of his loyalty. It seems that young master has certainly gained an eye for allies and fellowships. This is a cause for much relief in my heart. God damn. Ha ha! Listen to him. This one knows how to jest. Jesus Christ. They're basically best buds now, huh? I may have lost my cool for a moment there. Anyway, this man speaks true. It is highly likely that we would be exposed to attack of similar nature were we to continue moving at this time. She's just fully on his side now, isn't she? That's when I realized that she was looking in my direction. The exaggerated smile had all but completely faded from her face, replaced with an odd but dead serious expression. When our gazes locked, she nodded. She must be completely turned around by that guy. Is this her way of saying, so long, I'm gonna quit and go work with this guy now. Thanks for everything? No. She's not gonna leave. And as for this hotel, it is still much better than sleeping in outdoor tent barracks. We should be able to relieve ourselves of some fatigue here before moving on. Did you not earlier insist on continuing our search for a better accommodation with the greatest vehemence, Miss Otis? Yeah, whatever. We get your point. Let's go inside. Whew. My humblest self can only behold your generous acceptance of this insufficient lodging with the deepest gratitude. After all that serious talk, the man seemed oddly relieved to hear our decision as he brought his fist and palm together. Architecture of today mustn't be judged with such haste merely by an observation of their exterior. The interior may hold aught to be surprised of. Worry not. With Rodion surrendering, wouldn't that be nice? We made our way into the building. Oh, this actually ain't so bad. It's clean in here. Yeah, this place looks nice. This place presents a rather classical aesthetic. The landscape paintings lining the walls gives off a rather sophisticated mood. And it's much more spacious inside than it looks from the outside. Did they use some kind of space expansion technology in here too? No, it seems that the building only appeared small due to the density of structures in proximity. Well, the door's now open. Should my presence be required, I shall be in the small shed next to this building. Please do converse freely. The man smiled awkwardly and quietly excused himself as the excitement among the sinners began to grow. Meanwhile, Hong Lu stood a fair distance from the guide, quietly watching his face as he left. His expression was enigmatic, as if he were gazing upon the clouds, the flowers, or even the wind. Yet there was no light in those eyes. It was as if they beheld a storm cloud, a desolate field of wilted flowers, and a howling, destructive gale. Do you suspect something, Hong Lu? So I decided to ask. Not yet, I don't think. Huh? Not yet? So, big brother, something fell off to you too, huh? That's when we caught a familiar voice. Why is Sichun here? What? Did he lead her here too? Uh-oh. Wow, Sichun, it's you! And so soon too. Yeah, I told you I had a feeling we'd be seeing each other again very soon. Have you been well, young master? I'm so glad to see that you're doing well, Mr. Wei. Oh wait, don't tell me you're staying here too, Sichun. I normally wouldn't ever set foot in a place like this, but I ran into some kind of large-scale construction on my way back to the family mansion. Had to come in through the back streets. So, we weren't the only ones troubled by that random construction site. I kind of have a feeling it's not random, right? I feel like someone set it up and they're trying to start a battle royale, in a sense. But these guys as like the targets. Oh, hail to thee! Ah, oh my, she's like, not this chick again. The confident look on Si-Chun's face was immediately replaced by that of alarm. Did she lose her memories again? Is she with you? No, Don Quixote is the same as always. But she looks like such an airhead. Young Si-Chun, well, wouldst thou accompany me to the lodge but a moment, so that we may share a moment of catching up? Oh, yeah, actually, let's do that. Hold on. Si-Chun seemed to hesitate for a moment, staring at Don Quixote after hearing that her memories were intact, before walking right up to her. I like that idea, shall we? Wei, why don't you go and find a room for me to stay in while I talk some things out with her? What? You wanted to do some catching up, right? Uh-oh. Tis, Manager Esquire? Loss of critical personnel may be a cause of disciplinary action, Dante. I don't think there's anything wrong with making friends, though. Looks like Si-Chun really likes Don Quixote, if she's comfortable enough to tease her like that. I don't think that's why. I think she lost some really important and good men at La Mancha Land, and maybe taking her frustration on Don. It's not Don Quixote she likes. She obviously wants Don Quixote's power she saw back then. Ah. Don't tell me she wants to become a blood fiend. My lady, this is hardly the appropriate place for... Fine. I'll try again later. Go get some sleep. I'm heading into... Huh? What? I'm confused. What's going on? Si-Chun sighed with a bit of disappointment before heading into the lobby. Well, let's all head inside now. So I and the rest of the sinners followed her into the lodging. Alright! So we ran into Si-Chun again.
관리자님의 99%
That's
명령과
great. I'm happy about
1%의
that.
제 실력이 합쳐진 결과.
Everyone was busy looking around and commenting on various things in our lodging, but Sinclair appeared to be the most anxious of them all. Sinclair? Something in here stands out. Like, imagine an ideal picture. Did you call? Aw, I missed that joke you sang. That's not what I'm not... Anyway, am I the only one who feels like something stands out like a sore thumb from the whole picture? Oh, yeah! Glad you brought it up. I didn't say anything because I thought it was just me. Raja. So what's so off about this place? Isn't it obvious? Where'd all the weird mystery table at the center of the room? Huh? That is kind of weird, though. What's that table doing there? Its saturated colors are quite the pleasant sight to behold. So, is it any better inside? What the hell is that hideous table? She noticed like Sinclair. The kerfuffle sparked by the particularly unsightly piece of indoor furniture calmed somewhat once everyone made it inside the building. Of course, no one was able to discern the real purpose of that table yet. Every step on the floor leaves black residue on the shoes. Not only touching the floor, touching the walls leaves an unidentified black substance on one's fingers. Not to mention how the walls ripple in an odd fashion. What could possibly be the construction of this structure? Well, my guess is that the maintenance staff's been slacking. Maybe, but why's everything so neatly organized if that's the case? I've been to enough seedy establishments to tell when a place has gone a while without a tidy up. At least it appears that each room is furnished with a bed. While this is far from optimal, Executive Manager, we may be able to rest here. Huh, I guess they really didn't have time to clean up. Zossie Chun, the last person to walk in, after having taken her time to examine the area outside the lobby, stared blankly around the room with an aghast expression. I'm not even sure what to say about this ridiculous negligence. Then found her room after leaving a scathing remark. It ain't the first time we're sauntering right into some shady business, innit? Let's just cross that bridge when we come to it, yeah? I guess. Anyone could tell that there was something definitely wrong about that guy. Some sinners, including Heathcliff, had already slumped to the floor, vociferously expressing their desire to rest, with a collective sigh of exhaustion. Well, it is pretty weird, but at least we have a roof over our heads. In that case, Dante, perhaps this may be a good time to announce today's close of business. Oh, I guess we still have to do that. Huh, I've never made this announcement outside the bus before. Oh, right. I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners. Yeah, it is kind of weird that we're doing it outside of the bus, but okay. Understood. Thank you kindly. Starting now, you will all be given a maximum of 12 hours to partake in sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night. As soon as she finished, the sinners each began to relax in their own ways, some stumbling into their rooms, while others lingered to speculate over the bizarre table at the center of the room. Save for Otis, that is. Got something to say, Otis? Yes, Executive Manager. It's about our guide, Ching Tao. Oh, your new best friend from earlier? Seemed like you guys were getting along pretty well. Yes, they were. What? That is simply untrue. Did you not see the signal I gave you earlier? What signal? This was the time he remarked that maybe, see ya, I'm going with this guy. Oh, you mean when you nodded slightly in my direction? Indeed, that individual has an informational advantage over us when it comes to this locale. Regardless of how sound the accusations we came up with were, he would have been able to explain them away using his familiarity with the region. I thought, as the party with an informational disadvantage, it would be wise to feign camaraderie and friendship with that individual and go along with their plans while trying to dig out as much intel as possible. I seriously thought that suspicious guy totally won you over. Executive Manager, I've been in this business for many years. How could you even imagine that I would be fooled by an amateur spy who's so overtly It's nothing. Otis's disappointment was palpable, but she stopped herself as though she remembered that there were more important matters at hand. Ahem. While it is uncertain as to how long that individual will be accompanying us, it would be reasonable to speculate that he approached the LCCB with the explicit purpose of eliminating Hong Lu. Zabalyu. I present the fact that it was Pilot, that inexperienced greenhorn, who somehow conveniently came across this connection, as another evidence supporting this suspicion. That's also true. Faust also has information to share. Faust joined the conversation after listening to us discuss for some time. A review of every known taboo has failed to identify one he called residential non-aggression taboo that universally prohibits actions of violence within residential areas. Then that also has to be. It is too early to come to conclusions regarding that matter. It appears that this area, Hong Yuan, has taboos that change depending on your location within its territory. However, considering every other circumstantial evidence, we can come to the conclusion that he was most likely lying to us. Your assessment cannot be denied. In that case, we must already be deep within the enemy's machinations. The consistent stream of random assailants we faced earlier was also most likely also a part of their plan. It may very well be that this building itself is also a trap, yet we lack the intelligence about this particular backstreets to be certain. However, we do have one minor advantage. It seems that they have severely underestimated our capabilities. Given the low caliber of the assailants, they decided to send after us. One thing we can capitalize on is that the mutual lack of intel. Keep our guard up, remain alert, and we should be able to navigate our way out of this trap, Executive Manager. Okay, I get it now. I'm sorry about the misunderstanding. Honestly, I didn't know who or what to trust. Then I would appreciate it if you could trust me fully next time. Otis bowed politely and returned to her room. Damn. Faust and I chatted a little more about Qingtao and his plans, but our discussion ended without bearing much fruit. All right. So, obviously, Otis is disappointed with us now, because with us thinking that she would side with him, and I feel bad about that. I realized that Hong Lu was missing as I was spending time chatting with the sinners. Uh-oh. I didn't notice him going into his room. So I walked to the exit, about to look for Hong Lu outside, and ran into Za Sichun and Wei, who decided to stay in the room close to the door. It's getting late. Where are you going alone without a guard? Oh, just looking for Hong Lu. Yeah, she can't understand us, remember? Right, I can't understand what you're saying. All right. When it comes to conversing without the sinners, I find that there are two types of people. The first type usually says whatever is on their mind, without pausing for or caring to hear my reply. Yeah, they're all like that, especially you, Ahab. I fucking hate that I gotta see your damn face, and remember, you're not dead, you're alive, and you're probably going to be a pain in my ass later down the road. Given that this type of person isn't actually looking to communicate with me, that simplifies things a little on my end. However, it's also oddly insulting, as it seems as though they don't recognize me as a human, but rather a wall, or a clock on a wall. Yep. And the other type is the one that reads me so well that they might as well be able to hear what I'm saying. Virgilius falls into the latter category. He recognizes the pitch of my tics and talks, reads my body language, and sometimes even claims to see my expressions, like how Don Quixote does. And Za Sichun, who saw through me with that short exchange.
Okay, let's see. Just looking to get some early morning air. Oh, Does your prosthetic head even have a respiratory function? Wouldn't have guessed from the way it looks.
Did not belong in either category. No, not really. I'm just looking for Hong Lu, because I haven't seen him in a while.
You're shaking your head, so no. Then are you looking for something to eat?
She's a new one, the type that tries to figure out what I'm saying without asking for help. My lady, would it not be wise to wake or find someone who may be able to translate?
They would have done that themselves if it were something important. I'm kind of curious, though. What was that hand gesture you made when I first asked? You, brought your index fingers up to your cheeks?
Well, Hong Lu's always smiling. So I thought maybe I could simulate his smile to convey that I'm looking for him. Perhaps it was an effort to express cuteness or beauty. What? No, I was just trying to express a smiling face. Oh no, this isn't going to be easy, is it?
Huh, they're TikToking a lot more vigorously. Hey, I think you're onto something.
This conversation was starting to veer into a completely unintended territory. After a bit of trial and error.
I see. You're looking for my big brother, huh?
We took some very roundabout ways, but I was eventually able to get her to understand what I was trying to say.
Well, if he's the one you're looking for, that's easy. You should be able to find him by the lodge back there. I doubt he got very far from there, if he even left. So that's what you were trying so hard to communicate?
Za Sichun was, strangely enough, disappointed and dispirited by my reply.
I did have something to tell you too, but never mind. I feel like the mood's been ruined. Let's talk about this at another time.
I was curious, but it would take ages for me to ask how she's feeling. So I nodded to express my gratitude before heading to the back entrance. And found Hong Lu gazing at the hazy scene out the opaque window. What are you doing here?
People watching.
There were some people stumbling through the streets outside. As I stared outside the window at the scene, Hong Lu seemed to sense what I was thinking and began.
Are you worried for me, Dante?
Well, yeah, it's your turn, Hong Lu.
It really is. I'm back at H Corp, and everyone's talking about the family hierarch selection. But you don't have to worry about me at all. Because I did not wish for anything from Limbus Company.
Really?
I'm not like Yi Sang. I'm not hiding my true feelings. No one gave me a wonderful promise like they would help me recover my torn and broken wings. I joined only to have some new experience, that's all.
But we do know that something's definitely going to happen. Whatever it might be, something that will shake you to your very core. Even if you didn't wish for anything, going through something like that could.
Probably yes, but it's okay. I'm used to being led by the will of others anyway. No matter what happens here, I can't do this like everyone else. Because that's how it's always been. Whatever happens to me or to those around me, I only.
A loud, boisterous bellow suddenly cut Honglu off even before he could finish his sentence. Oi! Let go of me! Just listen to that sod talking and tell me I'm not supposed to get mad at that! Ah, they were eavesdropping. Dang it, lower your voice. What are you guys doing back there? Gregor and Heathcliff, who were most likely hiding behind the entrance door, tumbled into view. Eavesdroppers! I knew I shouldn't have come here with this guy. Couldn't you be patient for even a few minutes before bursting out of here? How long have you two been listening? From the very start, course. I thought he was finally making some sense at first, but what's that? That you're used to following others' will?
Haha, I didn't mean to irk you, Heathcliff. I'm only telling the truth.
Bloody hell! I'm about to burst a vessel! Oi, buggy bloke! Am I supposed to practice patience after listening to that drivel? I think I'm practicing plenty of patience despite you calling me buggy bloke out of nowhere. So yeah, you are. That's not what I... Finally, some silence. Anyways, sorry about listening in, fellas. I'll let you in on some big secret if you let this one slide, though. What's the secret? Gregor rubbed his arm awkwardly as I stared at him in silence, then pointed at a pillar in an exaggerated motion. Guess who's hiding behind that pillar, Manager Bud? Is it? Okay. I'm going for a wide swing here, right? Is it, Verso? I'm going really wide on this swing. With that, two familiar figures stumbled out into view from behind the pillar. Ah! See, I was thinking an easy one would have been Don Quixote, but I guess not. How can you betray us like that, Gregor? You know what? It makes sense that he would be with Roshu. B-W-A-H-A. Oh, what? Well, I don't know what that means. Bad, weak, and highly annoying. Good night, snooze fest, she says. God, that's good. Oh no, that was wrong! Sinclair, my boy, you're gonna get punished. Huh? Did I get that wrong? I never said GNS. When did you get a FU? I want to say fuck up, but that's not gonna be it. Roshu looked at Sinclair with some interest before slicing open the ceiling above the entrance. Oh. And with an uncharacteristically wet noise for something cutting through a wall, a black, ink-like substance dripped onto the floor, followed by Raja and Otis crashing down after it. God damn it. They were smarter. They were listening in the ceiling. They're in the walls. They're in the goddamn walls. GTFO. Get the fuck out. That's probably not right. What? I didn't realize I had garnered such an audience for my story. Executive Manager, the sole reason I followed you out here was for the purpose of protection, as I was concerned for your safety. I am not like the others who have followed you merely to sate their curiosities. Me? I was just bored. At least she's honest. Then shall we continue the conversation, Dante? I think everything's ruined. Everyone, back to your rooms now. That's great. I love it. I love it. Sadly, though, the laughs must end here because now we're gonna conclude the video. This has been, I think I have about a couple hours to go through, so that'll be nice. But with that, let's go ahead and go to the 10 times extraction. We got that one. We don't have to worry. Is there any other ones? No, there is not. So Merso shall get his time. How many tickets do we have? We have 9. Wait, hold on. We have 5 hours on this, which means that this is going down in about 5 hours. So let me see if I could get a ticket. 20? That's cheap. I can actually get 11 or 12. God damn. Sadly, I am not going to be able to get this. This looks sick as shit. Sinclair, my boy, you look sick as fuck. But sadly, I won't be able to get you. So let's do a 10 times extraction now on Merso because we don't have many things for this guy. Is that a little gold in there? No? Well, there's always a chance. And? Nope. Hey! And there we have it.
And with that, everyone, that is going to conclude this video. So I really hope you all did enjoy it. If you did, go ahead and let me know by hitting that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you want to become part of the pack, go and hit that sub button, notification bell to know when a new video goes up. Also, don't forget to leave me a comment down below because all comments are well appreciated. And with that, everyone, I'm DemoonicWolf, and I'll see you all in the next video that I make because I am